Good morning, Maciej. New day, new learning.
Dzień dobry, Nico. Hello, nice to see you. I'm very excited today about the topic because I already know the topic, but still, please present me and let me participate in the journey that you've prepared.
So, have you ever been in one of those places where you want to start a new project and you have your pet project or it's something you need to do for an interview, whatever it is, right? And then you start to suddenly feel like, oh God, this is going to take a while. Like you start to install maybe React, and then you want to have a Typescript, and you want to install ESLint and Prettier, and maybe you want to also install Jest. And 3 days later, you're still there trying to configure stuff, and you haven't been able to write a single line of code for your project.
Happens to me from time to time.
Right?
I mean, at least happened in the past.
So this is what I want to share today. I have 2 kind of tracks. So if you are just desiring of getting something quick and grabbing a project and then finally being able to start working on your idea and not on configuration, I have something for you. It's there. I'm going to share the link. I'm going to quickly show you the project so that you just get a hang of what is there for you. And it's there, free for you. It's a gift that I want to make to you and to the people that are watching at us. And then the second part is, would you like to learn how to do that on yourself? Because we know very well that projects are changing all the time, frameworks are being updated, are going to be deprecated, and some new ones are going to come. So it is a good thing to be able to just do it yourself the next time. So we are going to walk through an empty project, and we are going to try to set it up together in 30 minutes, and we'll see where we go. My wish is that we get to doing vite, React, ESLint, Prettier, and Jest, and see. Let's see. Maybe we won't fit it all. Maybe we will. I am, curious to go through this journey with you. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready. Let's jump into this.
Okay, let's start with the short track then, my friend. And the short track for today will just see us walking through this small project. I'll quickly present it here for you. So here we have a very sample project. There is nothing fancy in this project. It is a project built with the vite builder. It's a React project. It has ESLint configured. It has Prettier configured. If you are using this, remember to change your setting. If you use WebStorm, it's you can go in the option, just look for Prettier, and you need to make sure to enable this, and then you can also enable ESLint. So every time you save, did I put the save? So that every time you save, it's just going to lint it for yourself, and that's amazing. And then it have already playwright configured. So if you like to do end-to-end tests, and there is a good motive for doing that, but we won't cover that today. You have that ready for you, and then there is Typescript as well as Jest configured. So everything is there for you. It's just ready to use. There is nothing one needs to be doing other than going inside the project, doing an npm install, and that's it. Wonderful. I am not using the proper node version, so that's cool. But then we are going to fix this later on. So npm install, npm start dev, npm run dev. Sorry, and the project is there, ready for you to be used. This is a sample React app, nothing fancy. And this is the first thing. Do you like it? Would you like to use it?
Yeah, I mean, these days I'm usually making this part myself, but if everything is like configured, especially playwright, sounds like something I could use one day, because I made this configuration only once and it wasn't so easy.
Right. It also happened to me. And then every time there is something different, you always stumble in a different problem. So yeah, this is ready for the folks to use, have fun, work on your business idea. Don't work on configuration.
The super benefit is once you have like working repo somewhere, so you can always make like this comparison when something is not working for you. You can take a look and see, okay, so the guy made this and maybe that was the point. Yeah, thanks for that.
Cheers. And then for the people listening, look at the commits. If you want to see how each particular part was set up, most of the project has been done in very small chunks, and it should serve you. Just a quick note, at the end, Maciej and I realized that the project had some imperfection. So there are a few commits at the very end of the project that fix this. Things like, making sure the content is all in the root folder, making sure that you don't need to import React in every single component. It's small tweaks, but just to be sure, the commit are atomic and contain the configuration for every specific step. But at the very end, there are some very fine tweaks. So just be careful for it. Wonderful. Okay, let's move. Now let's do something different. Now we will start from zero. And again, in 30 minutes, maybe 20, 25, we are going to try to come up with a full project like this one and walk through the process together. Okay? So let's get going and see where we are, what we can do. So I mean, first thing first, right? And we are not going to use Git because we just want to, speed through the process. So this is going to be a one-shot, throw it away thingy, just for people to know. Yeah. So let's do my great new project. Okay, so what is the first thing we want to do? Generally, there are several ways to create a new project. Once upon a time, there was create React app. That was a very great starting point, but this is not maintained anymore. So people kind of discouraged to use this. So I would do the same. And what we can do is use this amazing ecosystem that was created by Eric. So we can go into the vite page. And in the get started section, we can easily find, I always encourage people read documentation. I have been spending some time here, so I don't need it, but do read the documentation, go through it, especially through the getting started page, because it's going to give you some great pointer of where you want to go. So what do you want to do is going to the scaffolding your first vite project, and then we are going to start by using the React SVC TS. So SVC is going to allow your build server to go even faster. I won't go too deep on the technology. You can look at it, but the baseline is if you want to develop and be faster, use this one. And we want to be faster, right? So always. So we can take this part, and then we can go into our ID. We can go here, and then I'll do, let's do this. And here already made a mistake, but that's okay. Let's do my great new project. And then we do take this. Voila. We go in. Yes. And we already have the first thing. So given we already created the project, let's make sure we take all this stuff and we move it here. Voila. And now we start to have a project. So let's open WebStorm or whatever IDE you are using. And then we go in and migrate new project. We open it. Yes. We close this one, open this one. And then the first thing you always want to do is come in. And then maybe we use the proper node. So if you don't know what is NVOM, is a package manager. It allows you to have different versions of Node and switching through them. It's easy to install. We might leave a link inside the description to help you out. And then the first thing we always want to do is just npm install. We make sure that we have all the packages installed, so our Node module. And from there, we can take it. And there are different solutions. I'm using npm just because it's still one of the most popular choices. I love pnpm. It's a faster alternative. The best one for me is ban, but I feel ban it's still a bit early, and there are still things that are not perfect. And especially if you're looking for information, it might be a bit more difficult for you. So this is why I'm sticking to npm. If it would be me, I would try out ban, but I had several projects in which I had then some friction, so it wasn't the best experience. It took me a bit more. So that's the only reason I'm using npm at the moment. Okay, so we have this, and then we can check the README, always check the README. And in the README, we see a little bit of information. Okay, nothing particular. And we can maybe check the package JSON, and we see that, okay, dev, it's our script. So we do npm run dev, and we have the first thing. So we click here, and we have our React app. Okay, step one completed. I mean, how much did it take? Maybe 5 minutes. Okay, this is good. Thank you, Vite. Thank you, Eric Evans.
Thank you.
So let's move to the second part. Now we have a project that is already using TypeScript. So you can see, this is a TSX. This app, it's already, prepared to use typing. So let's move to the second part. ESLint is also here. It's configured. Amazing. This is already 1/3 of the work, right? So the next step would be to configure Prettier. Let's try to do that. So as usual, we open our beautiful browser, use Arc. It's the best browser in the world. And we go to Prettier. Open the website. As usual, we look for, install. Yeah, maybe read the doc, as we said before. And then this is the first thing. Oh, this is amazing, right? It's already giving us some very good pointers. So, okay, we install, we create the Prettier file, we created the Prettier ignore, and then we are good to go. A little bit of setup. Let's see how much does it take us. So we'll stop this. We install Prettier. So Prettier is installed. Now we can create 2 files. The first one is we created the Prettier RC, so the configuration file, and then we can create the Prettier ignore file, like the git ignore, just telling Prettier what it needs to be ignoring. So I did these 2 things, build coverage, then you can configure this to your like, and here we have the configuration of Prettier. And once we did this, we can add maybe a command to our package JSON so that we are sure that we can also format this from the command line. Generally, I do like to do it as you have seen before. So I go in my configuration, I go under Prettier, I say to just take care about it and run it on save. And the same thing for ESLint. So we are good to go. Okay, now that we are there, we want to make sure that, Prettier and ESLint work well together, because these two try to achieve similar thing. There are many things where they overlap and some where they don't, and we want to make sure they go along with each other. So there is an amazing plugin that you can configure, and it's called ESLint config Prettier, and it's this one that comes with a beautiful documentation for the installation, and it's very easy to add to your project. So we just go in, we install it, and then we want to go on the ESLint config and add the Prettier plugin. As easy as that. So we want to go on the ESLint config, and then it extends, right? Extends, yes. So we'll come here, we add Prettier, and I think the game is over.
If you are using WebStorm, just take a look. Recently, I spent like 30 minutes with the newest WebStorm because it was not working with Prettier for me on save. So to make this option work, I need to restart my IDE. From some reason, I don't know, but if you are just losing your time on this, just start with restarting WebStorm first, and then maybe it will work for you as well.
That's always the solution on the internet, right? With IT.
Yeah, but always you are spending a lot of time figuring like probably something is wrong on my side. No, it's actually restarting.
Just restart your router or your computer or your WebStorm, and it's going to work. Thank you much. Okay, so now we want to add some very basic configuration. I mean, I just brought this just so that we have a little of an example. I hate the double quotes, so this is one thing. And then I always want my commas, and then we don't want to spend time in manually setting the spacing within our file. So 3 simple configuration, they are there for you, ready to use. And here we are. I mean, Prettier is, yeah, Prettier is also ready. Let's see if we can, okay, yeah, it's reformatting. Let's do, I don't know, my name. And then we do double quote, Enrico, save, and it's single quote, and it puts the semicolon all by itself. Don't spend time formatting your code. Let the IDE do that for you. it's free.
And without restarting, amazing.
Amazing. Okay, cool. So step 2 done. So what have we achieved so far? We used the vite application creation tooling to create a vite app, a React app, sorry, supported by vite. It's coming already with Typescript and ESLint configured. That's amazing. And then we installed Prettier on top of that, and we added some rule. And all of this we did in 11 minutes. And our app is ready to use. Now, let's go for the last step. This is going to be the most tricky. You know, installing Jest is always the thing that takes me a little bit more time because there are a few caveats to notice. We are using Jest and not vtest, once again, because there are some functionality of Jest that are not fully supported by vite. At least this was at the time I've been looking into the doc. That was maybe a few months ago. So things might have changed. You can always check. But from my understanding, Jest, it's still, vtest doesn't still have full support for Jest stuff. And also because, as before, Jest is still the most used and the widest adopted testing framework in JavaScript and TypeScript. So that's the only reason. I want to let you know that vtest is there. You can have it a try. The things that are not supported are not major, so you can most likely go very well with it, and it's going to be faster. So it's an option. We are going to cover it later on. For today, I choose to stay and provide a solution that would fit what the market is going for today. So staying with NPM and staying with Jest has been my choice. So, as we did before, let's open our web page. Let's look for Jest and see what do we found. Use the doc. Remember, use the doc. You know, don't start by some article written by somebody else when you want to do it yourself, because most of the time those articles are going to be outdated. So you want to refer to the doc of the tool you are using, because these docs are more likely to be at the latest version and going to provide you a better idea of what is happening. Then, you know, if you stumble into an issue, then use the internet, use Google, use ChatGPT, but start from the doc.
And if the documentation for your tool is not up to date, then it's the first sign that you probably shouldn't use this one.
That's such a good point. Thank you, Maciej. So we start from the doc. And let's have a look. Okay, it's saying to install Jest, and then we can run our first test. I mean, this seems like an easy enough step to start from. So let's do this. So we go install Jest. While it installs it, let's create a dummy test. So let's create a dummy test dot. Oh yes, sorry. Test.js. Let's start with JS, and then we do this. And always start with the expectation. Okay, my ID. Okay. Okay, and here we start with some issue. That's good. I love issues, and probably it's because I am still missing something. In fact, we don't have any Jest configuration, so I might have gone a bit too fast. Okay. Okay, so if we do this, so it's saying just add the testing here, and then we can just run it also from our ID. Let's see if this is working. It doesn't really like it yet, so that's cool. So let's init our configuration. So this is going to generate a basic configuration for us. Sorry. And now we should see a Jest config TS popping up here. We need to configure it. Would you like to use TypeScript? Yes, please. We want to use JS DOM because this is an environment that is going to test a browser-like application. So like our React application, if you're developing a Node backend, you can use Node. So we use just JSDOM. Would you like to have coverage? Yes, it's free. Why not? And then we are going to use Bubble. And then clear mocks. Yeah, okay. We were going to always start with a fresh thing. So we go on the config. That looks good. There is a lot of boilerplate code that you can read through if you want. Otherwise, just delete it. And now let's see if this is working better. Okay, it's complaining because TS node it's not installed. Whenever you face a problem like this, what is important is that you read the error, because the error most of the time give you some very good breadcrumbs that you can use to fix what is happening. If you don't understand what the error log is telling you, try to understand what is the error log part that seems more telling something, and then copy paste that the entire thing in Google. You know, you can do something like this. You go in Google and you copy the error, and most of the time you're going to find many other people that have this with you. So let's see, let's make an example. We load this and the guy is having exactly the same error, and you see now there is going to be some solution, and then somebody is going to say, hey, look, TS node, it's something that you might be missing. Try to install that. So let's try to go that way. So we install TS node that we haven't installed yet. Let's take only this part. And then we go in. Let's see if this is helping us. Okay, TS node has been installed. Let's just see if we are lucky enough that we just run the test again and it's working. Something seems better. Okay, you see, there is a new error. So we are already moving forward. And then let's do the same, right? So you see, it's telling us that this thing is missing, whatever it is, you know. And then it's telling us that as the new version of Jest 28, this is no longer shipped by default. Interesting. So let's see if we just go and look for this. And what do we find? Oh, okay, there is a package that is named exactly like that. And it seems like it's easy to install. Let's try. Or maybe let's just try to install it. I'm a doer by nature, so many times I like to just go try things and then see if it's working or not. This is where I really encourage you to use Git, because whenever you have a working state, you can commit and then you can experiment. The experiment is failing, okay, revert and restart. This is something that I really love. Be very wary of doing that without like a system that allow you to save your state, because then you can start to experiment and you do many experiments one on top of the other, and then that's where things can really go south. So get to a working state, save, and then experiment. And if the experiment is failing, revert back to the working state before trying another experiment. Otherwise, you know, things might really get dark. Okay, so we don't have error. This is much better, right? Let's see if the console is helping us better. We run the test from here. It doesn't find our test. So why is that? Oh, maybe this is
it because you have like .js, .ts something?
Yeah,
maybe
seems
this pattern
like
is not
yeah. Does feel like, yeah, do totally understand much. And yes, I just noticed now, thank you Maciej, that our test was written in the wrong way. So that might be a thing. But still, in any case, we needed what we have done. So this is good. Okay, so as you can see now, my IDE is not really happy about the describe. It doesn't know what it is. Oh, but I love, you see, oh, look at this IDE. You know, you should use WebStorm. It's amazing. So it's already telling me, hey, look, describe. I don't know describe. Are you maybe missing the type definition? So as we use types, and as TypeScript is an add-on on JavaScript, or TypeScript doesn't really know about Jest, and we want to tell it what it is, and so that's the reason we need to install the types. So the IDE is already telling us what to do. We love them. So we install the types, and whoop, now it does know what these things are. And this is amazing. Okay, folks, as we promised, here we have a working project that has been configured through vite that uses React. It has ESLint, Prettier, and Jest configured. We haven't been able yet to configure the test in a way that they can run components. So, if you would test a React component right now, it would return you an error, but we reached the time limit for today. So we leave you with this. What we are going to be doing on the next episode is installing testing library and configure it in a way that we can test the React component. And as a bonus, we are also going to configure playwright so that you have all the tools that you need to test your visual application, let's say. And this is it. I hope you enjoyed the ride. I hope you learned something. Please leave a comment if you have any question or if you have any feedback that you want to provide. I hope you enjoyed the episode and you got something nice out of it.
This time I knew what the topic for the episode will be. I also spent some time yesterday to prepare a second repo, which could be a nice alternative for you if you just want to I'm using a little different stack with my side project. So I started with the same thing like React type vite and Prettier, but later it's going a little different. So these are once again baby steps here. So commits for everything. Also in my README, this is my README file, you will see like step by step what I'm doing. I will of course not present you everything right now, but if you're interested, you will find a way how to configure vite with tsconfig paths, so you can prepare some aliases to import data from. You can get some env variables. You can use Tailwind CSS. It's Vitesse instead of Jest, because for me, actually, I'm using this in production since a while, and I don't know about any like missing pieces. It's not obvious how to configure matches there, but here you will find out how to do this. It's pretty simple actually, and you don't need to install TS Node and other stuff. It's just working out of the box and it's way faster. It's also a React testing library configured, so you can actually test your components out of the box. And also it's Husky and Lint stage. So this is the thing which, for example, can run Prettier every single time when you are merging something into your repo and checking, for example, whether everything is ESLint compliant. And finally, it's another thing which I really like to get out of from Prettier. This is about organizing imports. So automatically, it will always sort imports for you and also the Tailwind classes. So you will always have the same order, which is very helpful. And some additional use Tailwind hook. And finally, free font, awesome icons if you want to use. So that's like thousands of free icons you can use in your project immediately. And this is made in a way that you can tree shake everything. So you will only have these icons that you are using. So of course, all of this, it's not mandatory. There are the steps that are very opinionated. You don't need to use all of that. But if you are interested how to configure something like that, like any point, you can just find the relevant commit, or just, find the instruction here, or just get the whole repo and get whatever you need out of it. I hope this will be like the second bonus. So you will have like 2 repos and you can just use whatever you want. I hope it's a nice additional knowledge to what Enrico presented today. And thank you, Enrico, for presenting and just for bringing out this topic into our table.
Thank you, Maciej. Ciao, everyone. Have a good day.
Have a good day.
Bye-bye.